Ooh, you ain't so tough with that bad boy talk.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
What's poppin', people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. How's it going? Are you okay? I really do hope that you are. And yes, Chelsea news of sorts slash match preview for a midweek game slash talking points such as, and featuring things such as, why do we still not have a shirt sponsor? And other stuff like that, mate. Yeah, a bunch of stuff I wanted to speak about, actually. Maresca said some interesting stuff in his pre-match presser about Mudryk, about Nkunku, bit of Felix as well. And he actually was asked about Reese James in England, which made me think that I wouldn't mind speaking about that a little bit as well. So it's going to be a good video, as always, hopefully. Welcome on in. Thank you for supporting the content. You can do so easily simply by liking and subscribing, of course. We're so close now to 190,000 on subs. Oh, don't need that again. So yeah, thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Let's get into it. Right, we will do a lineup builder, which is interesting because I know we've got an A team and a B team, but it could be mix and matching at the moment due to performances, etc. But before we do that, there's some talking points I want to get into. Things I want to discuss with you, my friends. Am I central? I think so. Bearing in mind, also a reminder, I should say, I'm getting some new designs that will eventually be behind me here on green screen content for you guys to make it a little bit more stimulating and appropriately themed. Right, let's start off with shirt sponsor. Not that I've really got much to say, just how everyone stopped talking about it. And it's friggin' ridiculous how we are still, I mean, last season we started without a sponsor and then we got Infinite Athlete eventually. I think it was like 40 million. For the year after the season started. We'd played a handful of games without. We're going to be going into at least this November international break without a main sponsor, without a front of shirt sponsor, which is mental. Now look, I don't really care. In fact, a lot of shirts look nicer without sponsors. I bought two of the last, I'm looking at them now behind the camera, two, the home and third kit from last season without the sponsor. I thought it looked great. Even though I've got nothing against Infinite Athlete, I think it looks fine as a front of shirt sponsor. And indeed, there is something culturally nice about a shirt sponsor that is a reflection on the time. And, you know, there's iconic history ones like, you know, Chelsea with like Coors and, you know, obviously Samsung, and Arsenal and Man United have like iconic ones as well. So I get it, like, and it needs to be sorted out, obviously, for the money. The money's important. You're missing out on serious P there. You know, it just needs to be done. But it's weird. Like, there's been no reports about it. No one's talking about it. What the heck's going on? All right, let's talk about footballers then, shall we? Yeah, so Maresca spoke in his pre-match press conference about certain players, and although he didn't say anything to this question, he was asked about, would you be annoyed if Reese James was called up for England? Of course, the squad soon to be announced, Lee Carsley's squad for the upcoming November, the final two games of his reign before Thomas Tuchel comes in. Now, rather peculiarly, out of nowhere and suddenly, England are short on fullbacks. Now, Trent under Carsley has been playing right back, and Reese James has been playing both right back and left back for Chelsea, so he looks like he can fit that void and do well. Although Maresca didn't answer, I would be disappointed if he was called up, because that's not protecting him. But, who's the new England manager after this international break? Or on the 1st of Jan, but after this international break. That's right. Champions League winner Big Tommy Tuchel, who had a very important right wing back called Reese James. Yeah, man, buzzing. I do think Reese James, provided it's up to Chelsea to keep him fit, protect him. And by the way, I think we're doing a great job. Every player is healthy and fit. Again, I don't want to like lose my nut every time I say this, but last season we were in the trenches. I think it got up to 14 players. Zero players are injured. They're all available at the moment, including Reese James. I think this left back, inverted left back, right back, coming off a certain amount of minutes, once a week playing. I think it's intelligent management of Reese James, his rehabilitation, his injury, his fitness. I think we're doing good. Kudos, Chelsea. Kudos medical team. I mean, no injuries. It's amazing. It's karma. It's karma finally being cashed in after last season. So I think we're doing well. I don't think he should go for England, but I think the future's bright for Reese James in his England career, which is lovely, warm fuzzies. Especially if I'm an England fan, bro. Do you know what I mean? So it's great stuff. All right then, some other stuff I want to speak about before we build a lineup together. Players. He was asked about individuals, Nkunku, Misha, and indeed Joao Felix, speaking about them needing more minutes and individual stuff, which we're going to get into in just a second. Joao Felix is a huge talking point. I've recently spoken about him, me considering him a false nine, and how I think actually as an alternative to Nico Jackson and a stylistic alternative, that he would play a false nine well. Obviously Nico Jackson's playing as a proper striker, you know, like a true nine, if you will. And then Nkunku isn't either. He's not a proper centre forward and he's not a false nine. He's like a second striker. It's kind of vibe. That's his thing. Left channel, left number 10. He's not really a number 10 in Nkunku. I know everyone says he is, but it's more the space he occupies rather than the role of a number 10, because that's like a playmaker, isn't it? Like a Eden Hazard, Cole Palmer, James Maddison, Bruno Fernandes. That's not Nkunku. He's a finisher of moves. He's very direct. But Joao Felix can be a bit more of a false nine, floaty guy. And he, you know, Maresca was asked, this guy's a big name, like, you know, and he's like, yeah, I feel shame. I feel like he is, you know, the English might have broke down a bit, but he feels bad for these guys. And very much he sort of asserted that with Joao Felix, like, he's good, like, I feel bad, you know. I personally feel like Felix is a less drastic or stressful case than Nkunku, even though Nkunku's played more, because Felix is younger. Felix came to Chelsea just wanting to settle and wanting a long-term contract and wanting to find a home and, you know, slowly build his career back up, which is fine. He can do that understated quietly for a while. And Nkunku was like, nah, I'm good to go, baby. I've, you know, was the top goal scorer in the Bundesliga when you bought me. Everyone knows I'm good. I'm in my prime. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's 3 years older than Felix, Nkunku. He wants to go. So I'm not too worried about Felix. It was interesting. He was asked about that. He was also asked about Nkunku and Misha. Just on Misha, he highlighted he needs to improve defensively, which is not anything new in terms of what we know about Mykhailo Mudryk. Interesting to hear. It's refreshing, isn't it? The Chelsea manager, how transparent and like straight up he is. He's like, yeah, look, he's good. He said, look, since the Panathinaikos game, of course, he got a goal and 2 assists. You know, he's actually played some minutes, significant minutes. I mean, he's looked pretty useless in the last game against Man United. You know, he can go quiet basically, but that's kind of fine. We know where he is. Everyone's spoken about him at length, that he's just going to take time. He's like, you know, I said it donkeys ago that he's well undercoached, and you know, he spoke about his personality type, saying that he looks shy to everyone else, but with us he's fine. So he's not kicking up a fuss. I liked it when he was shouting. Was it the Panathinaikos game when he lost his mind and was shouting at Dewsbury Hall? I like a bit of that. And just showing some character. We sort of need that from Mudryk. Just to, you know, there's a pulse in the dead horse. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, we got something here. Get him going. So, nothing too interesting. But I want to spend a moment talking about Nkunku. Because the gaffer, the Chelsea manager, kind of admitted, you know, in not so many words, I'm sure many of you watched the press conference, that there is kind of a problem. And he spoke about profiling, positioning all the time with different players. And, you know, he was very, you know, transparent day one with the likes of Chilwell. Like, nah, he's just not for me. It's not going to work. He's not right at all. He's good, but he's not right. He's very, you know, strong with that. But I think that was a little bit of I'm guessworking here, but I think that's led a little bit with also, you know, maybe the sporting directors going, yeah, well, he's on high wages and, you know, and his book value is not much, so if we could sell him, we wouldn't really care. They probably all shook hands. It was like, yeah, okay, Chilwell out. Do you know what I mean? I reckon there's a bit of that when they might have been like, Nkunku's only just got here and he arrived with the new owners, right? So I know they've like cut their losses on, for example, Aubameyang, Koulibaly, obviously, but Sterling even, which was their like flagship Thomas Tuchel signing that he wanted. I don't think they've necessarily done that with Nkunku, but the stuff I've been speaking about here on the channel for a while now, how he just doesn't fit the Maresca system and he's not thriving. Maresca's just pretty much admitted in this pre-match press conference. He said, yeah, look, we're playing him as a striker, as a 9, and he's not a 9. So he's saying, I've just said like a couple of minutes ago, he's even though people speak about a number 10, he's not a playmaking number 10. He's good at combinations in the box, but he's very much go, finish chances, and he wants to play slightly. Is a bit more high maintenance in that sense. But that's a bit unfair. No, that's not. I take that back. He's not high maintenance. He's just for a different system. All the other players, we know what kind of wingers he likes. He wants ball carrying wingers. Jadon Sancho, Noni Madueke, Neto. They're the kind of wingers he wants. I think Mudryk, he's trying to find sort of solutions from, but they're what he likes. We know as a number 10, he wants Cole Palmer and Joao Felix. Now I know it's a kind of number 8 hybrid role, but just to say a number 10 because it kind of is. He's happy to play Joao Felix there because Felix can play that role. Of course, Cole Palmer's the main man it's his spot to lose, which he will never lose. And strikers, like he wants conventional ball-carrying wingers, dribbling wingers, like 1v1s, he wants a proper striker. He wants a Nico Jackson. He wants a John Duran, a Samu Omorodion, Victor Osimhen. Nkunku isn't a striker. And it was refreshing to hear him say, like, we're trying to find solutions, but we're playing him out of position because he's not going to play as a number 10. He's not going to play as a striker. And then what? That left winger, he's not like a Jadon Sancho or a Neto in terms of the way he plays. He wants to play literally like, hold on, let me just show you here. He wants to, you can see my cursor. He wants to play like here, off someone as well. He wants someone there and he wants to play here. So he really, he wants a 4-4-2. He wants a 4-4-2 and he wants to be like the little man out of a big man, little man. You know, or like a 4-2-2-2. Do you know what I mean? Something like that, which is very Leipzig, very RB Leipzig, Bundesliga model in itself. And of course, that's where he thrived at RB Leipzig. That's where we bought him from. And he played with Poulsen, did he? Which was like, yeah. So it's tough, man. Obviously, for France, he's gonna be playing. He played off the left last time, and you know, looked a little bit of a passenger. So I've been saying it. I wonder what's going to happen with Nkunku. He's probably the best finisher at Chelsea, you know? He's a cool player. He's got about star quality, the balloon celebration. He's the best finisher at Chelsea. I think he probably is better than Cole Palmer because he'll score like flicked headers and stuff that you won't see Cole Palmer do. I think Cole Palmer is obviously a better player and just certainly fits the system better. But I do wonder long term, and it was very interesting to hear Maresca say, like, yeah, look, this doesn't really fit, but we're trying him there. I thought was telling personally. Transition, please. Right, so on that, we're going to build a lineup. Caveat, I know nothing about Noah. You know, we could look at Noah. Noah FC Noah. FC Noah. Okay, should we have a look at them? Let's have a look at them. I can't even see a formation and a lineup for them because Google does not have the Armenian Premier League stuff. So no, we're not going to look at them. They won their last game out 2-1 at home. Let's have a look at the table. The Armenian Premier League. They're fourth in the Armenian League. We should beat these, man, okay? So we don't need to do an opposition analysis of these guys. But we do need to think of ourselves. And we're going to build a lineup here. So let me just move this a bit there. Right, let's do the obvious ones. Firstly, Jorgensen's going to start in goal for the Chelsea. Hopefully he puts in a world-class display. Not that he'd need to against Noah. And we can think, you can be our new number 1 and keep kidding ourselves over and over and over. Badiashile is obviously going to start at left centre-back as the left footer. Right centre-back, you could think Disasi or Tosin. It will probably be Disasi because we still look to Tosin in higher profile games at time. Righty-ho then. Now, Cucurella, he's going to be kind of rested. Like, it really depends what's going to go on at Arsenal. Are we going to go for the Reese James left back, Malo Gusto right back thing yet again at Arsenal? I kind of hope not. And therefore, I hope we play... I know this is not an Arsenal preview, but I hope we play Cucurella left back at Arsenal. So we need to rest him here. So I'm going to go Renny Vega. And especially because Renny Vega can invert here. And now we know for sure Enzo Fernandez at the moment is not in the first choice Premier League team. Although it wouldn't like absolutely shock me if he did start a Premier League game. If Maresca thinks, yeah, I want Enzo Fernandez's passing here. Like, you know, it could totally happen. All right, so I think we start Gusto. I think we start Gusto because I think Reese James will play as right back in the other game. So I think this is looking pretty strong actually already. I feel a bit better. And Gusto will be playing as this player that gets up here, and Vega will tuck in and invert there. Dewsbury Hall will finish the double pivot. This is an interesting double pivot there, but you feel like we can do that. Cesare Cassidy might get some minutes off the bench, you'd think. Felix has to play, although it can't be Cam for some reason. He's still listed as a left winger on this platform here. So Joao Felix as the number 10. Mudryk. Yeah, I mean, I really want to see Sancho, and I think maybe this would be a good opportunity to see Sancho, but I actually think Sancho could start against Arsenal. I genuinely do. If he's fit, let's talk about his fitness. I think he's still sick, so let's say Mudryk. I've still got, high stock in Jadon Sancho, especially considering a lot of stuff, and especially considering maybe I want Neto on the right. And you guys, spoiler, I do think Neto should be on the right. And I think for the first time this season, we could see a Noni Madueke right wing start at home in the Premier League, which will be bad news for him. Getting a start for Chelsea in Europe, you think, yeah, wicked. But actually, this obviously represents bad, because it means Neto is going to start where you are against Arsenal. I mean, this might not happen. He might still have the trust of Enzo Maresca, but, And of course, the much discussed Nkunku. The Cam, the second striker, playing as a centre forward here. Oh my Gideon. Look at the... Okay, what is it? Over 50 million. 62 million. How much Madueke? 30 odd million. Fernandez, 105 million. Dewsbury Hall, 30 odd million. Joao Felix, 45 million pounds. Disasi and Badiashile got to be 65 million pounds together. Gusto, best part of 30. Jorgensen was like 25 million quid. This is a very expensive team to put out against Noah in the midweek. I'd be very interested to learn Noah's squad value, but it would not surprise you if it was the price of like Renato Vega, would it? Like, let's be real. What an incredibly strong team. Now look, can we get terribly excited and carried away from a high-scoring home win against this club? Sure, it'll be funny. I mean, if we do, everyone will be like, well, Chelsea shouldn't be in this competition. But it's an opportunity to see smiles on faces from players who have maybe not played much. Yeah. 4-0. I predict 4-0. Guys, what do you think? Please do leave your comments down in the comment section below. I've really enjoyed this video. If you have to, drop a like. Thank you for subscribing. If you do choose to subscribe, hit the bell. Every day I'm here, so do come back. Love you very much. Peace.